Today's fantastic tutorial. Today we are going to learn how to create the concept art photo manipulation in Photoshop, something like this, which you can see right now on your screen. So let's get started. So first of all, we are going to take this image, and this has been shot with a mobile phone camera. The quality is not that good, but this will be good for our photo manipulation. So first of all, I'm going to create a duplicate copy of it by pressing Ctrl J or Command J if you are using the Mac. And then I'm going to right click and select Convert to Smart Object. And then I will go to the filter and select Camera Raw Filter, or you can press Shift Control A or Shift Command A if you are using the Mac, and it is going to launch it in the Camera Raw Filter. And first of all, I'll go for Auto. That would add some brightness to it, and let me increase a little bit more brightness and lower down the contrast because I don't want that much of contrast, and lower down the highlight, okay, and increase the clarity a little bit, increase the vibrance, increase the saturation a little bit, and come over here on the sharpening panel and increase the luminance to take away the noise from the image. Okay, as you can see, it has lots of grain and the quality is not good. If I drag it back, you can see there are so many grains on the face, and moment I increase it, it is going to take away that noise from the image. Okay, and I can increase the sharpening by pressing Alt or Option, and I can click and drag this masking option until I see the edges, and then I will increase the sharpening amount so that I get a little bit more sharpening in the eyes or on the edges of this image. And come over here on this panel. I don't think we require any of that. All right, so once we are happy, let me fit and zoom and press OK. And you can see the difference by turning it on and off. This was before, and this is after we have just made some basic adjustments. And now we are going to extract this image from the background. So for that purpose, what we are going to use, we are going to use the new select and mask option in Adobe Photoshop 2017.1. This is the latest release, and I have explained each and everything about this tool. If you have not used it yet, and if you want to learn that, you can go check out my other tutorial, and there is a tutorial on that, how to use or how to mask out the hairs using the new select and mask feature in Adobe Photoshop 2017.1 update. Okay, and it has made the masking really easy, and it doesn't take that much of time. All right, so first of all, we will select this quick selection tool by pressing W, and moment we will select it, you can see right now we have this option over here, select and mask. So I'll select it, and it is going to launch this interface where we have all these options over here. You can see over here, and we can select sample all layers, and here we can make the adjustment. Okay, so using this, I'm going to mask it out. So first of all, I'm going to increase its transparency, and let me take it on the white. Okay, so I'm on the white, and I have increased its opacity, something like this. Okay, and now, and you know that we have not made the selection, we are going to make the selection right here within this select and mask option. Okay, so I'll keep on painting, and you can see it works like a magic. The moment I have painted, the Photoshop automatically detects that what object I want to be in my selection, and it does a beautiful and a very fast show, which was earlier not possible. Earlier you have to make the selection at your own, and then you need to come over here, and that would take lots of time and effort. But this one is really improved and better. Okay, and wherever you see those problems, You can check them and remove them, and if you press shift, it turns into the hand tool and you can drag up and make the selection of that area as well. And if you have selected something which you don't want, just press Alt and paint there, and it is going to remove it. And you can resize your brush by left bracket or open bracket and close bracket. Okay, zoom in, make it smaller, press Alt or Option and paint on the area which you don't want the selection, and it is going to take away the selection from that area. And you can refine it once again. And even if it doesn't do the perfect job, we can later on modify this after we have made all these selections. Okay, that's quite easy and very fast. Okay, we have made this selection, and let me adjust all of these. So increase the radius for the edge detection, remove it from here, and let me select it over here, press Alt and remove it from here as well. And press Ctrl 0 to fit it in the background, and then you can bring back the opacity or bring the opacity to 100% to see what kind of a result you are getting, and zoom in, and then you can refine it once again and press Alt and remove it from here. And let me quickly do this. Alright, I have done it, and now need to select this new layer with layer mask and press OK. And that way it is going to create a new layer on the layer mask. Okay, and now we have got it, and if you want to see it, you need to turn off the background. Alright, so this is how we have got the result, this kind of a, but still there is certain problems, so we can fix them right here using this mask option. So let me just create a new layer under it and fill it with the white color, or let's say black color. Okay, I can now clearly see. We need to take the brush tool and make sure you select this brush tool with the soft edge, 0 hardness, and paint. Alright, and I have completed it, and I have saved this as a PNG file for the later use. Alright, and now I'm going to close this. No, and now I need to expand this canvas, so I'll press C or take the crop tool and increase it something like this, and from this side as well, and it is going to expand from the both sides. Okay, and now I need to press this enter, and it has expanded this canvas for us so that we can start working on this. And I feel that I need to lower down its width, maybe something like this, and press enter. And it is going to take some time because we have some smart filters over it. And now I'm going to create a stamp copy of this, so I'll press Ctrl Alt Shift E or Command Option Shift E. Alright, it's okay. I'll create a duplicate copy of it and right click and select convert to smart object, and now we have the smart object, and I'm going to rename it as girl. Okay, and need to turn off all these layers, and I need to create one layer. I no longer need this black layer, So let me delete it, and let me delete this one as well. And I'm going to create one new layer over it, and I'm going to call it background. And then I will use the gradient tool from here, and I will click on this gradient editor option, and it is going to open this, and I'm going to choose this black to transparent gradient, and I will click on this color and click here and pick the color which is something like gray. Okay, and I'll press OK, and similarly on this side as well I'll click and I will choose this time little dark color. Okay, and I will press OK and select as new, and that way it would be available as a preset for me to use later on. And I'll press OK, and now I am going to fill this background. So make sure you select this option over here of the linear style. Okay, if you have opted for other styles, that will not make the effect we want. Okay, and now I'll click and drag it upside. But as you can see at the moment, it has given us the reverse effect. We don't want the dark upper side, we want the dark to be on the bottom. Okay, so what I can do, I will check this reverse option, and then I can do this, and this way it is going to create this kind of effect where we'll be having dark background and lighter top. Okay, and now we need to bring in the texture so that we can blend it with this image. So I will go and select a texture, maybe something like this, and click and drag it onto my image and resize it to fit it on the background. Press enter and change its layer blend mode to, let's say, darken. Not working. Let's try multiply. Yes, multiply is working, and lower down its opacity. Or you can try the overlay as well, or let's try hard light. Yes, all are working, so I will go for multiply here and increase its opacity, something like this. And I need to remove this color because I don't want this color, so I'll press Ctrl U or Command U to open up the Hue Saturation dialog and drop down the saturation. And now this texture has no color. Okay, and I'll press OK, and it is going to apply this on this background. All right, and now the background is looking little bit better. Okay, and now what I'll do, I will resize this curve. So I'll place it over here, press Ctrl T, and by pressing Shift and Alt and hovering my mouse on one of the corner, I can drag them inside to make it smaller, something like this, and press enter. Okay, and now we need to remove this part of the girl, bottom part of the girl, because we want it to look like that she's in a water. Okay, or a dream-like water. And if you want, you can lower down this texture. So I'm going to call it texture. It is very important to rename all of your layers, because if you'll not do, then you never know when Photoshop may get crashed. We'll create a mask by clicking on this icon, and it is going to create a mask over here. And now we need to take the brush by pressing B, or you can come over here and select the brush tool and make sure you have the 0 hardness brush. Okay, it should not be any hardness brush. Okay, it should be short, it should be soft. And with the black color, make sure you have the black color over here, and paint, and make sure you lower down your opacity to look like that she's actually on the water. Okay, and at the moment it does not look that realistic, but we are going to fix it, don't worry. And I want to make this girl little darker, So for that purpose, I will come over here on the adjustment panel and create a curves adjustment, and I will click here to clip this on the girl layer. Okay, now it is going to affect only the girl layer. Okay, and now let me resize it and drag it down and lower down its lighting. Okay, I want it to be not that sharp. Okay, something like this. And now this one is looking good. You can see the difference. Okay, and now I will apply the hue and saturation on this. I want to have a less saturation on this girl, so I'll press Ctrl U and bring down the saturation to something like this, and I can increase its lightness, and I will press OK. And once it is done, now make this background little bit more greener. So I'll select on this texture layer and come over here and select the solid color, and this time I'm going to go for little this kind of a color, something which has little bit of blue and green, and I'll press OK and change its layer blend mode to, let's try color. Yes, color is looking good, and lower down its opacity, something like this. Okay, and now we are going to add the birds. Okay, so what we'll do, we'll bring our birds over here, bring the birds and resize them to something like this. Okay, and press enter, and we'll create a layer mask, and we are going to remove it from the face or the top part of the girl. So with the black color, soft as brush, 100% opacity, we will paint it, and we will carefully remove all these birds. Once we are happy, we'll press Ctrl T or Command T and right click and select warp, and it will give us warning. Ignore it. Alright, it's giving us warning that it's not allowed on the smart object, so we need to apply this. So I'll right click and select convert to, rasterize layer, and it is going to rasterize this layer, and then I will press Ctrl T, Command T, right click and select warp, and now I can warp them. I will create a shape of something like this. Okay, and press enter, and we need to remove it from the bottom as well. So again, with the brush tool, black color, we are going to remove it from here. Alright, and now as you can see, these birds are flying in this direction, but we want these birds to fly in both the direction. So what we are going to do, we are going to cut this side and place them other side. So for that purpose, we'll select this layer, choose the marquee selection tool and make a selection of something like this, and press Ctrl J or Command J to duplicate it, and right click, select convert to smart object, and now we have created a duplicate copy of it, and we'll call it birds right side. Okay, and these are the birds, BIRDS, birds left side. Okay, so that we can track them easily. And now we need to remove these birds from this side because we no longer need them. So we'll take the again brush tool with the black color, we are going to paint it on this side. All right, and that way it is going to remove it and turn these on, and now we need to change their direction. So we'll press Ctrl T or Command T, right click and select flip horizontally, and that way they will turn to this side, and place them over here. And if you want, you can resize or rotate them, and let me place them something like here. Press enter, and we need to refine them as well, so we'll create a black mask, and with the brush tool we are going to remove these birds, okay, so that they look little good. Okay, all right. And if you want, you can define these as well on this side and zoom in to see the result and refine these. Okay, and once we are happy with the result, we will now select all these birds. So we'll press Ctrl and click on this layer, bird layer, and it is going to make the selection of this, and we'll press Ctrl Shift and again select on the birds of left side, and it is going to select both of them. And now what we need to do, we need to come over here on the girl layer, and on the girl's layer we have to select this layer mask, and we need to remove this from the girl. Okay, so we'll take the brush tool and we will paint on the girl with the black color, and it is going to remove it from the girl. Press Ctrl D to see the result, and on this side they are have not been removed, so let me select them once again and paint over them. I don't know why paint is not working on this side. Okay, yes, it's working, we have done it, and because the birds are there, that's why we are not able to see it. And press Ctrl D, and now it has created an effect of something like this, but we still want to remove much more from the girl. Okay, so for that purpose we need certain other brushes. So we'll go to the brush panel, and I will find one brush which is useful. So let's say I take this one. Let's try this one, and selecting the layer mask on the girl. Oh, but this one is too large, so let me make it small. And no, it's not working. So let's try this one and do it. I think it's not scattering, so I will select this, go to scattering and increase the scatterness on both sides so that we get little bit scattering, right? And remove it from here as well. And paint here and there randomly so that it looks like that this is actually dispersing, and these birds are coming out of her. But we still need to add certain more things over here. So for that purpose we will we'll create a duplicate copy of the girl layer. So we'll press Ctrl J or Command J, and now over here we'll bring it down, this girl copy, and we will remove the mask and right click and select Convert to Smart Object. Okay, and now we have this copy of the girl. Okay, and we need to go to the filter and select liquify, and it is going to launch the liquify. And with this brush We'll increase the size of the brush and we will expand it. Okay, and we want it to go to this side as well on this side. Okay, basically we want this to be visible through the dispersion effect. Okay, and we'll press OK, and now we have got this kind of a result. And we need to create a black mask by pressing Alt or Option, and this time we'll choose the brush tool, and with the white color we are going to paint in. And just a minute, I need to lower down its opacity, so I'll come on the texture or on the transfer panel and increase its opacity and flow, and let me paint in, and on this side as well. And if you feel that it is too much, you can now paint with the black color to hide it from there. So let it do it, because it takes a little bit time. Put this kind of effect, and now we'll work on this side, on the bottom part of the girl. So we'll select this girl layer, and this time we'll be using the soft as brush with little bit of hardness. Okay, so we will paint in with the white color. Alright, I need to lower down the opacity to, let's say, 16%, and select the mask and paint in. Okay, and we are going to paint it something like this, and we need to create one more layer, and this time with this we'll pick up color from here, light color. So we'll select this color, and we will paint in over here, or even increase the brightness little bit more, and lower down the opacity, and make sure it is of 0 hardness. And now with the small color we are going to paint something like this, and we'll paint little bit over here as well. Little bit these lines. Okay, and now we need to make the bottom part little more darker. So for that purpose we will select this gradient, and from this drop down menu we'll select this black to transparent gradient and press OK. Press OK, and let me lower down it up to here and lower down its opacity something like this, and select this layer mask, choose the brush tool with 0 hardness, and increase the opacity and flow as well, and paint on the face of the girl, or which area which we don't want to be dark, with the black color. So this gradient will not affect the top part. Okay, as you can see, and you can lower down the opacity and paint with the black or white if you want little bit more of that. The brush tool, and we are going to add little bit of fog to this. So we'll select the fog color, fog brush. I think this is over here, and I will come down on the background and create a new layer. I'm going to call it smoke, and with the lower opacity around 10%, with the white color I'm going to paint in little bit smoke, and I can pick the color from there as well and little bit from here to mix it perfectly. And bring this down to from this color fill layer so that it gets that color. Take the color little darker and paint that as well to fix it or mix it with the background. And you can choose the white color as well to paint it in the center. Okay,